And we are live. My name is JP Berg, and this is episode 42 of The Philosopher, the Stoic, and the Teddy Bear. I'm joined, as per usual, by my co-hosts, Kris Erikson and Peyman Askari. How are you, gentlemen?
Good. Very well, man. How are you?
Good, man. So today we will be discussing the managed decline of Canada. It just continues to get worse. There's no end in sight. People have never been more divided and confused. And we will be discussing morale because it's pretty low. It's pretty low right across the board. Again, so I'll throw it right over to you, Kris. What are your perceptions of the climate presently?
Well, I think it's like we're here. I think a lot of us have been watching. Once again, it's good to be back. Thank you guys for your patience in doing this. I hope we can be more regular with it. But I'll talk maybe more about that later. But as far as where we're at is Bill C9. We can talk about everything else, but I think Bill C9 is probably the most relevant thing as far as what's creating anxiety. Being off for 6 weeks and not doom scrolling, working at the ledge has been eye-opening for me, as far as my mental wellness, because I care. I got a huge heart. I don't like where the direction of our country is headed. At the same time, I come back and I kind of, it's like you lick your finger and you put it up in the air and just to feel the wind. And I agree. You can see that a lot of people are in an uncertain place, and many are not. Many have seen this coming. Many know that we have to be able to adapt and be fluid in these times because demoralization is one of their primary tools. So I think that no matter what we talk about tonight, I think it all stems back to been on here for 6 years now, and it is so cyclical with regards to it's the same thing. Right, Bill C9 changes the game. C22, C8. However, I don't necessarily think we want to get into legislation tonight. We can mention the names as far as the bills go, but those are in tune. They know, and so I think it's time that we all come together and be honest with where we're at as a country, and be there for those that are awake. I can't spend any more time trying to wake people up because, again, if you're not awake by now, I don't know what to say. Right, not shaming you. But when it comes to Bill C9, is it going to take your wife or husband being arrested? Is it going to take your kids being arrested on trumped up charges just to kind of create that chilling effect? Who will it be? Will it be me? Be you? In the end, we still right now have the opportunity to build cheesecakes and have fun. So I am here to say, don't give up and to keep moving and to screw these establishment people. They are not working in our best interests, and to hell with them. I'll pass it off to Peyman. Go ahead, buddy.
I'm reminded of that scene in The Gladiator, not the abomination of the sequel, but the original one with Russell Crowe, where the Emperor sends his Praetorian Guard. He uncovers the plot, and he's like, it's the gloves are coming off. He sends the guard, storms the slave encampment, kills everybody, arrests General Maximus. It's sort of the same thing with Carney. Like, the gloves are coming off. Now is the time to, implement the tyranny. Bill C9, sure. What about they're trying to go after the notwithstanding clause? Carney is trying to get through the Supreme Court to make it, I don't know the details, but make it impossible for the provinces to do anything in opposition to the federal government. Like, this is Carney sending in the Praetorian Guard. or if you prefer another analogy, Star Wars, when the Emperor sends Anakin to kill the younglings.
Yeah, it's like every bill they introduced serves to consolidate the power of the federal government. What they're doing, a lot of us have seen it coming, and we've been warning, and now we're in the stage where it's being implemented. Carney, we got to really put this in perspective too. Here we are, Canada, our electorate elected a minority liberal government. And I mean, we had 4 floor crossers that make his majority now. So this is unprecedented in every regard. And the fact that they're getting away with it without Canadians like actually forming some kind of real resistance to it. We're just divided. They're just defecting over to the blue team slop. And it's the same thing. Like, we definitely have to mention Pierre Poilievre's appearance on Joe Rogan. Just the same feckless milquetoast conservatism, perpetuating that whole, we're all just nice up here in Canada bullshit. It's like, no, dude, we're fucking suffering. Our cities are dying. Our small towns are being eradicated. They're like, my hometown in Sydney, Nova Scotia is erased. You go there now, it's all just Indians. It's all foreigners. And I'm not allowed to say that because they're going to say I'm a racist. And that's what C9 means. So any reasonable criticism against these immensely detrimental mass migration policies will be characterized as hate speech, and they will not tolerate dissent. So this is where we're at.
Yeah, it's no different with the immigration policies or whether you're against Soji, right? This is their tool, right? And when it comes, like I didn't even put anything out on X with regards to Poilievre's interview. It's kind of like, really the same people that were all saying, oh, he can't go on Joe Rogan before the election because blah, 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 are the same people now saying, oh, it's so good to see him on Joe Rogan, but there was no tough questions, right? I'm looking at that. I'm going, the Joe of 10 years ago, he would have been talking about immigration. He would have been talking about the vaccine mandates. He would have been asking him tough questions. And again, we're still caught in this, I feel bad. Like I understand there's a lot of people out there that are scared. It's too much dissonance for them to be like, what if they're all in it? Right. But there was nothing on the sound bites they were getting from Poilievre is just, I am so sick of it. I am so done with it. If you still believe the establishment that put us here is the establishment that's going to get us out of it, I don't. There's too many people. I'm like a combat medic. Once a year, I have this like internal go F yourself, and I make a bunch of posts, and I'm just like, I end up deleting them because again, that's my Viking coming out. Do I mean what I'm saying? Well, there's probably a part of me that means it, but on X, if something gets taken out of context, then of course you're going to be run through the rigors on it. But I'm so tired of it. I think that we've spent how many years waking people up to the fact these guys are all either they're all in it together, and if they're not, if you want to say they're not, then they're pussies, like invertebrate jellies. They have no spine. They're just going to watch it happen. Why? Because their check, their pension, maybe their family. They don't want to be. They think that they're just, if they play the game, they won't be affected by this BS we're seeing thrown at us. But there's a ton of people suffering in this country, and we're in it. We cannot pretend that we're not, but we have to find a way. Right. So learning to let go, learning to find peace and balance through this storm is going to be difficult for everyone. And I hope that I can help in some way. I hope this podcast can help in some way to let people know they're not alone and to keep getting up for themselves, keep getting up for their family and their kids. Go ahead, Peyman.
So realizing that talking to Canadians as grown adults is not really working, I'm going to continue, referencing movies. If you follow the movie Troy, when they're trying to put the Trojan horse within the castle walls, is Hector, who tries to be the voice of reason and say, this is a bad idea, guys. Like, we have to fix it. And then you had that, the mystic religious guy. And he's like, no, it's a sign from the gods. That guy today is, like Hector today would be the three of us that underestimated the rot, the cultural, educational, societal rot in this country, where people they refuse to see what's going on because it's so difficult to undo all of this. So you got the three of us trying to keep the horse out from outside the walls, but we got a lot of idiots in this country.
It's funny, man. It's relative to people's ego. For me personally, I came on here. It's been 3 years now. I've been speaking publicly regarding Canadian politics and geopolitics. But I mean, when I started, I was supporting Pierre Poilievre initially. Now I realized early on, back when he did that interview with Jordan Peterson, and I was criticizing him the whole way too. I don't play that just worship your leader game that most Canadians do in politics. But I mean, once I realized like there was too much circumstantial evidence that indicates that he's in on it, I started to just adapt that, and I just moved on. Like, I wasn't I didn't get my ego involved. Like, fuck, I was wrong. You know what I mean? I'm just going to stick to this. And as we continue now with Trump, I'm having the same thing. Like, if you're watching what's occurring geopolitically, like, it's just undeniable that there's powerful interests that are influencing this administration. So, I mean, it's just politics is the bread and circuses of modernity. And that's the kind of conclusion you inevitably come to. It's like, this isn't capitalism or Marxism or communism. It's neo-feudalism. We have a massive banking elite, this oligarchy, and they make all the decisions, and they're just squeezing us harder, man. The quality of life is reducing, especially for working class people in Canada, but for everyone right across the board. So it's like, it seems like in my mind, and I'm very apprehensive about it, but it seems like we're coming towards the end of something. There has to be some big thing coming.
Maybe. I think that, obviously I agree with everything except for there may be some big thing coming. I think that they've been so incremental with what they're doing. I think that it's to have this big event, maybe, yeah. Would I be surprised if that happened? No. I think that it's like being in the Star Wars movie when they're caught in the trash compactor. It's just been a slow frickin' squeeze.
Just
And
to
by
be
the time
clear,
people
in that
realize I
analogy,
might
Canada is the trash.
do the people in it again, like you got Luke and Leia, I think Han's in there too, right? But they're just watching the walls and they realize it obviously as soon as they saw the little snake in the water, they're kind of like, we might want to get out, right? But there's so many people that are like, oh, pretty snake. Still, they're like, oh, I would love to. What is that snake? Let me go find that out, right? And the walls are closing in, and the walls are inflation, the cost of living, there's so many things we can talk about as far as what's happening with UNDRIP and all these other things with the legislation, and they're all sitting here saying, let's wait. What makes is insane for me, and it probably does stem from the COVID, the convoy protests. We're still dealing with that chilling effect. No one is willing to protest this government still, right? And they're now appealing as though they weren't wrong, right? You've had 2 courts shoot you down, but they're willing to protest Iran. They're willing to protest, Palestine, but stand up for Canadians and Canadians' rights, regardless of your political affiliations. No, right? So they have got this massive psyop across this country, and so many people have a rude awakening. So many people also, though, they're like Cypher in the Matrix. I'm just going to keep eating my steak. I'm not going to cause any problems. 15-minute city, yay! Everything is super close. My grandkids will have no freedom. They won't even know. Right? Anybody who's born today is going to have no idea what it was like to be a Gen Xer in the 80s, the 90s, the kind of freedom that we did have. I'll land it there. Again, screw these people. You got to get up every morning and get back on the horse and not let it bring you down. It's real. We know it was coming. We just have to be able to adapt and be there for each other. Those that are awake, we got to be there for each other. Go ahead, Peyman.
So, but before you go, Peyman, I just want to do my host duties and appeal to everyone. If you guys could please share or repost this stream, it's very advantageous for us considering we're very deboosted in these algorithms. So thank you.
Bruce Party, I saw a post by him. I guess he testified somewhere, and he's saying that maybe to the House of Commons, and he was cautioning that Bill C-9, if it passes, it could lead to unintended consequences, or that was sort of his message. He tries to, I really respect the guy, but he tries to be professional. He's a lawyer and, objective. So he says it could potentially lead to a bad outcome. Elizabeth Nixon, on the other hand, she's a journalist who's, she doesn't mince her words. And she came out and she said, the Rockefellers have completely destroyed Western civilization. And she's talking about how they've pumped all this money in these NGOs and these green initiatives that are making it impossible for people to live in the countryside, and they have to get packed into these urban centers. I have a lot of respect for Mr. Professor Barty, but it's not going to lead to unintended consequences. It's going to lead to intended consequences. This is their intention. They just want to completely control everyone and enslave everyone. And when I say they, I mean the bureaucrats, the people in the urban centers. They want to go to strip clubs. They want to have steak, expensive whiskey, no strings attached sex. If you can't talk about, Palestine or whether there are dead children in graves, that doesn't impact them at all.
Yeah, it's nothing short of transitioning Canada into a totalitarian society. Everybody knows that hate is subjectively determined. It's an emotional reaction. The legislative ambiguity associated with this bill, it just gives the regime in power the ability to enforce their orthodoxy. And that's what we're seeing across the board. We're seeing that in the UK. The similarities between the Commonwealth countries are just shocking. It's one of the biggest testaments to lend credence to the assertion that this is happening externally. This is not like the ruling class representing their constituents. They're implementing an agenda. But in the UK, Keir Starmer's jailed 12,000 people now for social media posts. So, I mean, any deviation from that rigid and radical orthodoxy will be construed as hate speech. and it's just it's how it's going to work. It's going to be weaponized politically, and it's Orwellian. It's the thought police. That's where we're at in society.
Yeah, we have the thought police, then we have the gatekeepers, right? We have these establishment shills that keep saying, just wait till the next election, right? If there was true conservative, like people on the other side that wanted to pressure the party and get things moving, they'd be organizing protests. What are they doing? No. That's all they do, right? It's just point at their ears, listen, look, right? These are the first people that will leave the country when it actually comes to bear. They're not organizing. They're not trying to fight against the establishment. They're a part of it, which is why it makes me so frustrated. It's like, how many people can be so dumb to think? We've been 4 years with Polyev. What have they accomplished outside of kill time? Nothing. So screaming at the top of my lungs and pointing this out to people, I'm done with it. Right. My focus moving forward, like I said a couple of days ago, it's like I'm tired of describing the train wreck. Because people, if you're still asleep and you're believing these establishment shills actually care about you, I'll still give you rice and bannock on the beach, but you are so dead wrong. You are being led to the slaughter, whether it's financially or whatever you want to look at. These people don't care. They are protecting their interests. They're protecting their own asses. Most of them will sell their grandmothers for access. Just an opinion, right? But we got to be adults. We got to be men, right? What does that mean? It doesn't mean picking up pitchforks and freaking torches. It means taking care of each other as brothers and sisters, fathers and daughters. We're heading into the storm, and these people that blindly follow these idiots, they know what they're doing. Like, everyone's like, oh, the left has Rachel Gilmore. Well, the right, they've stolen that. They're not conservatives. They're establishment. Same. They're protecting the status quo. And what is it doing? All it's doing is serving the agenda, the establishment agenda. So you want to talk oligarchies, you want to talk central bankers. We can do that all day. But at the end of the day, we're sitting here. I'm sitting here. I'm feeling that resonance, right? I have a lot of empathy, and I'm seeing the pain. I am seeing the anxiety of people, and all of these idiots are just saying, just wait. We'll get them next time. Really? Will we? What if you're wrong? So again, have a backup plan. I don't give a shit if you are still ball washing. Seriously though, if you're wrong, you're putting everybody else that's awake at risk by not having a plan. I'll meet you on the beach and I will serve you some food. Come to my house. That's different. Peyman, your thoughts?
Yeah, we're expanding the group of people that we dislike or no longer trust from merely Pierre Poilievre to the entire Conservative Party membership. And if this continues, we're going to include in that the People's Party of Canada, the Libertarians, and the Independents, and everyone on the right. It's like the amount of people that we actually trust is dwindling. A couple of other things I wanted to mention. One, the Carney government is attempting to, undermine the local law enforcement's ability to oppose their gun grab initiatives. So when I say, this is a gladiator, the Praetorian Guard, this is the last moment, this is literally they've made their move is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, man, it's like the mask is off. The thin veneer that we thought was democracy is eroded to reveal the beast that lies underneath, and that's this massive bureaucratic apparatus. And it's like I say, when you look at the similarities through all of the Western governments, it's shocking. Like, this same agenda is being implemented, utilizing the mass migration, all of the climate agenda stuff. Like, it's just too concerted to be coincidental. Like, no one's asking for this, and you could see the way we're going. The trajectory is totalitarianism. It's a fundamental shift of the way we do Canada. Like, I mean, number one, like, I'm watching the CPC push back against this, and it's all under the framing of kind of an infringement on religious freedoms, which it is, because this bill could lead to the interpretation of biblical passages and Quran passages and Torah passages to be perceived as hate speech. But I don't like that. It's like, I'm a tax-paying, law-abiding citizen. I should be able to hate whatever I want to be able to hate. Like, that's like, we have the right in a free society. You're allowed to hate. You're not allowed to call to action. You're not allowed to defame individuals, but you're allowed to have opinions and have feelings. And that's what we're seeing legislated. It's absolutely the wrong direction, for sure. It's the antithesis of everything that we thought Canada was. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And it comes back to, like, people give me a hard time for helping a buddy out as a campaign manager when in 2019, right? The reason that my buddy reached out to me is because I talked to everyone. I carried the Charter of Rights and Freedoms in my backpack, so it didn't matter if it was a Christian, Protestant, Jewish, Muslim. I loved having dialogue. To me, what makes you tick? If that's what drives you, talk to me, right? And that's what I kind of liked about Canada. And Polyev is full of shit when he comes to, oh, everyone comes here and gets along. Really? Like, at least in the last 10 years, you know, I kind of had the same mentality that we all got along. But again, if you have not grown and you're 10 years behind, sir, problem. Right. And I think that, you know, if the fact that these religious groups don't see that Bill C-9 is a threat, right? It's when they did the Million Man March for the kids, right? Christians and Jews and Muslims are all going to come together and stand up. And all of a sudden, oh, we get a war overseas that creates division amongst the people on Canadian soil, right? You guys are being played, right? Put your differences aside. We got bigger issues that we should be focused on. Our differences, yeah, they're relevant. But what we agree on and the future that we all see coming for people in Canada should be the focus. And for some reason, because the system, the media, the game, we are facing $1 trillion machine, people. They know, they got the algorithms, they know the data. They see as soon as we're starting to come together on something, they're going to throw something at us, throw someone at us, right? It's sad. I mean, my heart broke when the COVID event hit, and I'm like, wait a second. The charter means nothing. It is really nothing more than paper and toilet paper. Reasonable limitations defined by a freaking lunatic that's run by globalists. We live and learn, gentlemen, but we have to adapt. Go ahead, Peyman.
Oh, here's what I wanted to say. The way things work in political parties, somebody goes to Pierre Poilievre and he says, sir, here are the 7 swing ridings that we have to win in order to form government. Riding number 1, we have to target the Somali female, 21 to 47 demographic. Riding 2, we have to target the male 15 to 25, I don't know, Eritrean or whatever they are, African demographic. And he believes that. And then somebody else comes in after that person and says, Mr. Poilievre, there's only a limited amount of attention span on people, and we can only focus on 1, maybe 2 core issues, and hate speech, according to our polling, doesn't resonate. And he's kind of captured by this because if he messes up even slightly, they will kick his ass out of the party. And ultimately, this is where the problem lies. Pierre Poilievre is interested in holding on to his position, not in doing the right thing, because he believes that doing the right thing will get him booted out of government.
It's all just so polished and synthetic. Like, just to go back to that Joe Rogan interview a bit, like the certitude and the smugness that he had, and it's just like Canada sorts its shit out peacefully, and like we all just get along. You come over here and we all become Canadians. It's like, man, we have the opposite of that. Canada has been thoroughly balkanized with incongruous cultures. Like, we look at Brampton, we have like all kinds of like different groups of foreigners fighting with each other. Like, this is not Canadian civility from the 90s or the 80s or something. Like, this is gone. It's come to its inevitable conclusion, which is just becoming chaotic. And I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy that not only he said all this, but the amount of people that celebrated this. It shows the information level of our electorate. And that's why, like me personally, I'm getting a little demoralized. Like, I'm coming on here, man. I'm trying to analyze this stuff. I put a post out, and like, I'm getting from what's I guess supposed to be my side. I don't interpret it that way at all. But like, oh yeah, it's those dumb libs. It's like, man, if you've reduced this to the dumb libs, then you're not paying attention. This is a problem systemically, and it's not even unique to Canada. This is happening everywhere. And that big event I was saying, it's kind of an inevitability, like especially with this conflict in Iran, like the economy can only sustain so much. Like there's places in Australia and the Philippines that are actually running out of gas. They're running out of energy. Like this here could be the trigger event, the catalyst that actually pushes our economies over the edge. Like we could potentially see some really hard times coming. And that's when everyone's going to need the government, right? It seems like the catalyst for pushing us into the next phase of this agenda.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you want to talk about big events, yeah. How do you sell 15-minute cities? Well, you got no gas to get around. Right? That makes sense. Right? Just hypothetically speaking, if I can see that as a benefit. I think I saw a couple of again, I'm almost 50, right? So like and I'm a pattern guy. This stuff happens almost every spring. The spring offensive. We always get a war. We get something. Why? Again, people need to make money. The money changers, the financial industry, the military industrial complex. Do they care about us? No, they don't. Right. And I think that like the timing, you see the way it's so sequential, it's almost predictable now. And watching a few videos, it's like, oh, over the last 40 years, it's very predictable. You know when a war is coming because they got to fill their coffers, they got to make their dividend payments. Right. Is it that simple? Probably not. But I think there's a component to that. And in the end, what do we lose? Our freedom. Right. You can't criticize any of it. You can't shoot straight because on here you get de-amplified. In the coffee shops, they're like, where's your tinfoil hat? And online, the same thing. Right. So we're in a situation where they're messing with us, and you say it's like, oh, it's the libtards. Are there contards? Like seriously, if you were still looking at this as left and right, you are so wrong. And I'm sorry again. I have a lot of friends that, if I'm honest, would probably fall under that label because you are betting on a horse that is guaranteed to screw you. It makes no sense. Right? Does that mean everybody in government is bad? No. Honestly, I work at the Ledge, right, in BC. So there are good people there. There are some that are definitely vacant in the eyes. I'm not naming names. But there are people that are trying to do the right thing. But the system, the HQs, like you're talking about, JP, the HQs, Polyev won't say this because the party will kick him out. It's the HQs, the faces, the Wizards of Oz behind the scenes. They're all controlled by whoever you want to name. Probably all of them. We can go through a list of who's controlling these people. We saw it with Scheer. We saw it with O'Toole. Now we see it with Polyev, right? Like he's got to go out there and show he's a man. You know what Canadians need? They don't need you to lift freaking kettlebells. They need you to have a spine and speak to what is happening actually to our country. You don't play footsies. I don't even want to call them communists, right? What was the term you used, JP? Because I'm like technocratic, like combination of communism and fascism. Right? Like they all play these stupid games. And in the end, they hiss at you because they got a bunch of freaking followers that all these bots that come on and say, how dare you? And every time I see that, I'm like, what's up, Greta? I'm going to be real. You guys are real. There's a ton of real Canadians, but we're all drowned out by this establishment bunch of, I'm going to hand it off to you, Peyman. You know what I'm saying, though? Like, I'm sick of these people. They are killing our country and they know what they're doing. And you want to keep following them. I was going to call them lemmings, but apparently that might be a conspiracy theory. The lemmings actually don't follow people off the cliff, but whatever. Go ahead, Peyman.
I'm guessing the word you were looking for was communal-fascism.
I think neo-feudalism.
One of those
hyphenated words. It's an oligarchy, right? That's my point. It's like the donor class runs the parties. The party whips run the members of parliament or the MLAs. It's one big corrupt apparatus. And I'm sure people with good intentions get in, but it's so corrupted that they have malleable integrity if they want to succeed. Sorry, Peyman, I jumped ahead of you there. You go ahead, bro.
That's fine. Something you said earlier, the Conservative Party, their opposition to this hate speech legislation, and it's kind of couched in the language of, you know, anti-Christianity, anti-religion, religious freedoms. It really bothers me, and it's bothered me since way back with Bill C-11, the Online Streaming Act. I'm sorry if I'm turning into an old man and I'm repeating myself. I've said this multiple times. The Online Streaming Act, yeah, the Online Streaming Act, there's a clause in there. It says, like, if the person fits A, then there's B. So the A is if they have more than 1 million subscribers, for example. B is if they make more than 100,000. And the Conservative Party comes in and they said, hold on, is this a conjunction where it's A and B to satisfy this bill? Or is this a disjunction where it's A or B to satisfy the bill? And I'll make another movie reference for people to get why I'm pissed off at this. Prima Nocta with the Braveheart. You know, imagine if the king comes and says, if this woman is of age and it's her wedding night, you know, then the king will rape her. People weren't like, wait a minute, is that an and where she has to be of age and married? Or is it an or whether she's of age? No, it's just wrong. Like, I just want the Conservative Party to come out and say, no, this is evil. It's communist. We will, you know, we will murder you people, the opposition, before we'll let you pass this.
It's legitimizing the bills by critiquing it in the way they are. Like, you know what I mean? They're focused on these little details when it's like, it's absurd. There's no ground to stand on. This is the thought police. This is Orwellian. Insert any dystopian adjective. But I mean, it's like there is no hate. There's no way. It's like I said earlier, there's like legislative ambiguity. And you want the language of the law to be as precise as it can be. Semantically, like that's the intention of writing law. It's to point to something precisely. When you have something that's so vague and ambiguous, I mean, hate is subjective. It's different for different people. And I mean, the point that I'm making, it's like we should be free to hate as long as we're not breaking a law. That's true. It's like you can't, and that's what I mean. They're going to construe criticism of the regime as hate speech, as we've seen in other totalitarian societies, right? They implement these censorship laws when the lie is no longer effective. And too many of us can see what's going on, so they have to shut us down. It's within their best interest.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like freedom of speech is not there it's there to protect people I disagree with. I don't want to shut people down because I disagree with them. Right. And so when you get into the situation, that's been a long standing line, right? It's like, it's a matter of being able to have, we've lost civil discourse. Have we ever had it? I don't know. But at the same time, if we get to this point where the government subjectively, they're not coming for the establishment. I don't think they are, right? The establishment's towing the line. They protect the status quo. They're coming for the people that are pointing out it's a uniparty. They're coming for the people that are highlighting. They're using critical thinking. They're using evidence, fact-based. You know, I mean, how many times did we call out the establishment shills on the right? Wrong, but they want to call themselves right. How many times? No one will come on here and debate us, right? Because again, we threaten that bubble that they've created that makes them feel comfortable. At the same time, do they actually realize that bubble they've created for themselves is putting, again, millions of Canadians in harm's way for standing up for what they believe is right? No one's trying to harm each other. So it's precarious. At the same time, guys, I don't want to have an hour and a half of doom. I want to point things out. But at the same time, many of our listeners, you guys, know this is where we're coming. This is where we were headed. We can see the storm on the horizon. And, you know, it is what it is. I would never encourage people to run, but I will, you know, if that's what you got to do. All right. But if at the very least, see it for what it is. No, there's been absolutely no roadblocks to progression of Agenda 2030 over the past 10 years, 11 years, none. So if you still think these fake people are going to defend you, the same guy, Paul, yeah, we need more vaccines. Like, seriously, look, our short-term memory, this whole goldfish mentality, to me, it's like, of course I'm not going to trust somebody that didn't stand up for me. The people I trusted were those that got in their trucks and drove to Ottawa, those that have been standing there ever since. There are so many doctors and professionals that lost their careers, lost their families, their houses, trying to stand up for Canadians. And we're supposed to believe the establishment. Again, every time I mention the word establishment for the viewers, every time I mention the establishment and all those protecting them, the shills on this platform and others, I think of the Big Lebowski with the guy in the freaking bowling alley just scrubbing balls real hard. And I'm not going to apologize for that, because the visual, you need to see it, because they don't care about you. You know, do you believe if I care? I do care. I don't even want to see harm to liberals. Those are asleep. I don't want to see harm to them. Ironically, like, I'll say this. There are conservatives in BC that actually know what's going on. They're within the system. They are trying, but it's very difficult, right? So you got to kind of play the game in a sense to try and be able to, try and at least slow things down, try and do things that can actually help. I'm not going to name names. I'm not doing that anymore. You know who you are. At the same time, there are those in the NDP that actually have agency. You're going to be like, whoa, that some people watching, they're all commies. No, there are some, like, watch Question Period. You see the ones that are just, I am here to say what I've been told to say. And there are people out there that are saying, I have not signed up for this. What is actually going on? So we can't lose hope. We got to keep fighting. We have to be adaptable. We are heading into spring. I'm hopeful. For the last 2 years. Oh shit, it's 2026. The last 3 years, all I wanted to see was a festival of some kind where we can all get together. Good food, good people, good music. You've heard me say it before. And if 2026 is the year, let's make it happen, guys. BC, Alberta, whatever it is, we have to come together and realize that we are not alone, and that will motivate people 100%. There are a lot of people out there that keep this stuff to themselves and are just trying to protect their family. They need an outlet. So I'll land it there. A bit of a rant, but again, sorry for the visualization, but you got to see it. These establishment shills are leading your family.
John Turturro ball washing scene.
He was loving
the gestures you did with your hand. They were.
Yeah, I'd love to name the names, but we all know who they are, right? They're not looking out for you or your family. So hopefully today people get this feeling that at least we're being real, we're shooting the shit, and at least trying to keep people. My whole thing on this has been get to tomorrow. So if you're down, get to tomorrow. There's a reason you're still here. Find your purpose. Take care of your family. Take care of yourself. Go ahead, Peyman.
Yeah, no, I'm just struggling to try to come up with something positive to say. That's not doom and gloom. I don't know if I have it in me. I mean, like, you try to be more sovereign. Try to be more self-sufficient, grow your own food. And I don't mean like, don't plant 1,000 acres of wheat. No, we can't just become a farmer overnight. But for the love of God, like, plant some tomatoes, learn how to can, jar, go fishing, go hunting, buy your clothes at a cheaper place, move out of the big cities. These big cities are cancer. They're absolute cancer. Like, if you're paying 5,000 rent or whatever in an urban center, move to a dumpy little place and pay, I don't know, 1,100 rent. It'll be a little bit more crime, but you'll learn how to defend for yourself. You got to depend on your neighbors. The reason I'm saying this is this is not going to go away. There is no political solution. You cannot vote your way out of this, because the people that are running for office are responding to the dumb people that we're referring to right now, the dumb voters who don't understand. And the dumb voters don't want the politicians to fix the problem. They want more money. So it starts and it stops. Well, it starts with us standing up and educating our fellow man, but it stops when we're sufficiently educated that we say no. No more just throwing money at the problem, giving money to these First Nations with absolutely no audit trail, no accounting. No more sending money to Ukraine. No more focusing on Iran and Israel when we have people starving here in Canada. No more pushing fentanyl on the working class. Until we get there, I'm sorry, and this is going to be doom and gloom, there will be no progress.
Well, I mean, I honestly think that they're afraid. They're afraid of the spreading of information. That's why we started this podcast. The first 5 episodes, we had an average of 12% growth. We were peaking at 3,000 live viewers. I mean, we don't fit in because we're not partisan. We're not just playing that right left slave dialectic that you see all the other people. Like I look to like Pierre Poilievre is like the Conservative Party of Canada is supporting Bill C4 to prevent what they call transition therapy. But when you're talking about children that have had this transgender ideology pushed on them, I mean, that's anything that's going to not affirm them could be construed as this. So it's really the state telling you how to raise your children with one of the most controversial things. Like, what are they conserving? If they're not even conserving the rights, parental rights to raise your children the way you want to, what are you conserving? And then you have this whole ecosystem on social media. They're the right side of it. You know what I mean? It's all fake as could be. They just culture war grift in this right left bullshit, and they rage bait, and then they support their guy. They're never critical of their leader. There's no substantive criticisms of any policies. They're just pushing the dumb people to stay locked in this uniparty. It's like I've been saying a long time, and it's just a perfect metaphor. It's like Pierre Poilievre is seemingly serving as a pressure release valve for low-resolution Canadians that aren't really paying attention. They're not pleased with what's going on in their communities. They see the economy degenerating, and they go online, and there's Pierre Poilievre. He's the guy. He's the only thing. And that's what they do. It kind of he's preventing people from seeing any other viable options or coming up with any pragmatic resistance by just being there. He's this milquetoast, feckless conservative actor, and it's just not working. And the people that are still pushing him, I have zero respect for. I think they're absolute shills. I view them the same way I view Rachel Gilmore. And I tell them that when I see their content. I argue with them frequently. I don't give a fuck. Pardon the vulgarity. I needed the emphasis there.
Oh, dude, let it loose, man. We got to be real. I agree with you. I think I will differentiate between those that are shilling for the party and those that are scared, those that are unaware, those that have anxiety, the dissonance. It won't, it was hard, I'm sure, for both of us, for us and a lot in the audience to be like, really? They're all working together, right? It was like the Aaron O'Toole, we're all in this together. Seriously, I felt it until the freaking convoy rolled out, and I'm watching, and for a couple of days I'm like, is this real? Sitting there like segregated from society because I said, no, you can't experiment on me. No, right? Like, how did we ever get there? And then right as the convoy's going on, again, am I personalizing with Poilievre? It wouldn't matter if it was Poilievre or somebody else. February 5th, when the right is rising, and I don't mean right wing, right view. As far as we're all Canadians, we shouldn't be forced to be experimented on, right? They all start rising. I'm like, excellent. And then February 5th, I felt honestly like Klaus is like, you must get them under control. And ever since February 5th, we've seen Christine Anderson thrown under the bus. Nothing but, like you say, milquetoast BS, right? 4 years, guys. If you're still watching this and you're like, oh, I trust Poilievre, he's great. 4 years. Okay, right? Like, do I know Poilievre personally? No. Like, again, I want to get into the notion more of not attacking an individual, because it wouldn't matter to me. I think right now, if Poilievre stepped down, whoever they put in, it's the HQs, it's the establishment. They put these people out that are there simply to say these are not the droids you were looking for, and I just can't do it anymore. Honestly, like if you haven't woken up yet, even if you hate me, right? What if I'm right? What if we're right? Okay, all we're doing is trying to say, hey, look out for your family, store some food, right? Have a backup plan for your backup plan. Do you think is saying any of that shit? No, right? It's all just this regurgitation of you are being programmed just as much as the CBC is programming the left. And there are good people amongst all of those that are just scared or unaware and don't know. So if we can ever end that, they don't want us, they want us fighting with each other. If we ever turn around and actually look at the people doing this, that's what they fear. And we can't do that if we're angry, if we're full of anxiety. We got to kind of learn, right? The Viking mantra. Smile, right? We don't know what battle comes next. When it comes, we're brothers and sisters, and we'll fight together and be there for one another. So go ahead, Peyman.
I don't know. I think you said we shouldn't be. Some people have anxiety. They're scared and they're different from the ones that are stupid or whatever. I'm reminded of that scene, The Matrix, when Morpheus is giving his mom. This is Hollywood Hour episode today. Morpheus said, like, what do you look around, Neo? What do you see? Bankers, lawyers, carpenters, and he goes, they look normal, but as long as they're plugged into the Matrix, they are the enemy. I'm part of a signal group, and we were like just brothers in arms during the Freedom Convoy fiasco when we got doxxed. Yeah, we were single-minded in purpose. Our enemy was the state. They're the ones that were harming us. Nothing else mattered. This Israel-Iran war has just made these people lose their minds. They have so much hatred for Islam. Their dislike and disdain of Islam is blinding them. It's distracting them. And nothing I say will refocus them on what the real problem is, our domestic issues here in Canada. What happens in the Middle East should be none of our concern. Even if you think that every single Muslim person should die, that is separate from should Bill C-9 pass or not. That should take precedent over anything that happens in the Middle East.
It's all such a circus of propaganda, and this anti-Islamic end of it has been one of the common themes, and it's tied in with the whole anti-communism. And I think that Islam and Sharia law is incongruous with Western civilization, and I don't think we should be bringing in large communities of Islamic people to live and have their culture here. I don't think that's a good idea, but I don't hate anyone. I'm not going to hate these people, and that's what's being pushed right now. And if you're susceptible, it's like people are tragically susceptible to war propaganda. Like if you say anything critical of the war, it's like, oh, those Islamists, they're going to come over here and they're going to get us. Iran's going to hit us with a nuke. It's like, man, it's the same shit. It sounds the same as all the other disgusting war propaganda I've heard. And the people regurgitating it sound just as ridiculous as the people going on about weapons of mass destruction back for Iraq. It's the same shit. It's an agenda that's clearly being influenced by Israel and the pro-Israel aspect of the MAGA movement. They've absolutely taken over this administration, and I have no problem calling it out. I'm losing a lot of followers for it, but I don't care, man. I'm not here to be popular. I'm here for the truth. So be it.
I think it's like one of those things is like they play off of there's extremist components in every group, right? And I think that's important to understand, right? Like I think it's one of those things where am I pro-immigration right now? No, stop it. Send back those that came here under false pretenses. Send back those that are criminals. Like again, it's like open border season in Canada, so of course no. Right. But I guarantee you there's a lot of people within those communities that came here like legally, they went through the proper processes. They've been here for decades. They have not disrupted. They have not worked to subvert the interests of regular Canadians or people in British Columbia. There's going to be people that they're like, oh no, we all got to go back. I disagree with you. We can disagree. Like, are you going to you want to kill me? Like what? How did we get there? Right. I support those that support the interests of Canada, the provinces, and communities. But what they've done since 2015 has flooded the country with a bunch of people. And if you say anything, you're like, hey, we shouldn't be doing that. You're now a racist, right? And that label sticks, right? They all hiss at you. It's no different. What's the new thing, right? Label me bigot, racist, misogynist, transphobe. No. I'm not playing your games. I'm real. Leave the kids alone. Let's do immigration properly. But they have all the biggest megaphones, guys, right? I mean, even again, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm pro Fox News, but at least in the States, you see they have a right wing. But Fox News is still neocon. They're still pro this. They're pro that. They're not objective, right? So we're stuck in this freaking cavalcade of bullshit where we're supposed to be the ones that they all just want us to follow the next thing. They want us to virtue signal. They want us to all get in line and be automatons, which is why, again, I'm glad I met you guys. I'm glad we're doing this, because we're not. There's a ton of people in Canada that are not that, and they're doing everything they can to keep us from coming together, because the establishment needs to rule the show. Who controls them? I would not point at one. Right? I think there was this guy. I'm not sure if he was like a Chinese from Hong Kong that left. He's like, Canada's never been a nation. It's like this giant resource colony.
Professor James.
Yeah, it's so based. I'm like, I don't know him. Have I done the diligence on it? But he makes a valid argument, right? And so
I felt ripped off, man. I've been saying resource/labor colony for years. Now this motherfucker says it, and
yeah, but you don't say it with an Asian accent. That's the key.
No, I should
That's
work on that.
Sauce. Yeah.
So since I jumped in already anyway, I just want to appeal to everyone. If you guys could share the stream. We have about 546 people watching. So if you guys can all share it, that would be amazing. With that said, perhaps we should jump into some questions now. I'm noticing a lot of good questions.
Really?
Before we do that too, I want to encourage the remanded. If you can, he posted something earlier about the Conservatives not really opposing Bill C9. So if you have a little overview, I would love it if Peyman can bring it up, if it can't happen tonight. But yeah, I just didn't have time today to actually review what was being said by Anthony House.
Sorry, you want me to bring an overview of Bill C9, or what do you want?
No, I am talking directly to Remy, the remanded. If he hears me, please put a comment in. If not, we're good. Go to the comments. I apologize, but yeah, it'd be good if you posted something.
Well, I gave you both admin access. I see a starred comment. Alice not woke. Is that cigarette number 5?
That's cigarette number 6. Alice.
Are they what kind of cigarettes? Menthols?
Cheap ones, bro. I am poor.
Red smoke?
Yes. Shouldn't say that. The door will come in.
Let's see. Oh, long
it's
time
legal now for them to sell it. Good on them.
Yeah, the original lineup tonight. The band is back together.
So JT,
it's good to be back.
Comment. Sorry, there's just a bit of an audio delay. So if it sounds like Kris is talking over us, it's only because he has a little bit of a lag. That's all. Kilburn, thank you for reposting the stream. The remanded, thank you for reposting the stream. Kilburn, don't worry, US will be there soon. I don't know what context that was. Clown World, thank you for reposting the stream. Remanded. Peyman, just listening to your Tony Ledsham interview, unreal. Yeah, so this is the gentleman that just got absolutely screwed over by his union, by the courts, and we're pointing out all the corruption in the judiciary with the judges. What do you guys think, JP?
I didn't have a chance to watch that yet, but I mean, it's the corruption in Canada is wild. And like on these independent podcasts, like Peyman's podcast, in lay terms, like you did put out that mega thread and you illustrated all the various whistleblowers that you've interviewed. This is why Peyman is deboosted. Like it's not some podcast that's blowing smoke up your ass about Pierre Poilievre. It's actually analyzing and speaking to people that have been affected and felt the full weight of the federal government or the provincial governments or whatever the case might be, the corruption in our system, and it's real for them. And that's why they deboost a lot of the real voices. And it's just a shame, man, because in some very real way, we're already in this control grid. We're all apprehensively waiting for C9, but I mean, my voice was cut off, man. Like my content, which used to be very popular, like my followers don't see any of it. This podcast, for instance, like we're down to like a 10% of what we were getting. It's just, again, and the algorithms favor this right left slave bait culture war grifting slop. And that's where we're at, right? When there's people actually looking at the corruption and the systemic flaws, they're buried, man.
Kris, anything?
Yeah, I mean, like I'll even say to the audience, it's like me and JP. It's like February, March of last year. Yeah, as soon as the election was called, a complete clamp, right? And again, it's like, am I like, I am not I'm an Elon Musk. No, I'm not a Trump guy either, right? It's like, yeah, there's some things he does. Do I think, I don't know. Because again, I don't sit down. I don't have access to everything. So to formulate a full opinion, do I trust them? No. right? I always said when Elon bought X, I was like, okay, thank you, but you're never putting a chip in my head because I'm going to be a human until I go out, right? But this is something that is very insidious. I think that X, if the government does make requests or demands, they're not requests. I think that it's very obvious those that don't play the game are deboosted. I think that X, Canada should be honest. Elon should come out and give us the data and saying, look, these are the requests. This is exactly it. Why doesn't he do that? Because if he did, honestly, if I could prove the Canadian government was suppressing us, I'm suing them. Am I going to win? No, but disclosure is going to be fun. Give me the data for historical purposes. Because their X is a manufactured narrative that it's not about. I might, like you said the other day, JP, it's like, I might as well be out in a milk cart and frickin' the world is nigh. Which is true, right? We're still here again. Like, make no mistake, those that are watching, we've had discussions. It's been hard. The first 5 episodes were great, but the clamp, the boot, and we're all saying we got to keep doing it for you guys. And we don't want to come on here and say, oh, beg for shares and retweets and subscriptions and stuff. But it's not easy for us. If you want to be an establishment cuck, yeah, you will be boosted. They will, again, there's 3 worlds. The left, I don't want to say, there's 2 worlds, the establishment cucks and those in the middle that are literally trying to keep people informed and sort through things as they come to fruition. And it's hard. It's sad. But X is not the free speech platform. I would be more willing to say that they are if they would disclose it. And I will say, like, one of the guys, we will go back. One of the guys, it's funny. It was like the president of X Canada was literally like a member of the Trudeau Foundation, one of the first people Musk fired. And I always remember that, right? One of the member of the Trudeau Foundation managing X under Dorsey through the convoy. Most people don't know that, right? So one of the first people he fired, but Elon, on the odd chance, 0.0001% chance you're listening to this, you have got problems with X Canada. Seriously, unless, if it's not that, if you have people that have gone haywire, a bunch of leftists that are still in the little basements that are saying, oh, suppress this guy, because they're not the freaking establishment shills, right? If you've taken your eye off the ball, okay. Otherwise, disclose the government requests of suppression. As far as a business model goes, I think it'd be helpful. Sorry for the rant, guys. It's just, I don't want to see PST go. I don't want to see a bunch of people out there that are up the middle, that are trying to bring some sanity to this insane freaking inverted world. So I'll end it there. I'll land it there. Go ahead, Peyman.
Zero Fox says Trudeau is Commodus. Yes, I believe Trudeau is sickly enough to be Emperor Commodus. Clown World. Joe, why the hell did you lose? Pierre Polyev. Feed thoughts, gentlemen.
Because he was told to lose. That was the most ridiculous election we've ever seen. Like, it's what I'm saying. If people went through that election, just the leadership race for the Liberals, the way 2 popular underdogs were kicked out, and it was just left with establishment people, the way the redistricting of Pierre's district, and he didn't even mention any of this. And then they ship him off to Alberta to quell the freedom, to quell the freedom movement and the independence movement. It was just, it's a script. And I knew right away, I'm going to find some of these old posts. I said, you watch. I wrote an article, and I predicted exactly. I said, Carney will buy this majority through backroom deals. He will have floor crossers. I assumed them all to come from the NDP, but we had 3 conservatives. So that goes to show you, like, how similar are these parties? If the members can just cross the floor so easily, right? It's synthetic, and I know no one's ready to get there. But until we do, we will see no real change. We need someone that's going to disrupt this establishment. In order for me to have faith in any member of parliament, they would have to break the 4th wall. They would have to straight up tell us, like, we have party whips that are telling us what to say and what we can and cannot speak to. We don't get to represent our constituency. We just get to regurgitate these lines and scripts that we're fed. It's just shocking to me, again, like, people are still are still lost. And again, one of the biggest hindrances for people realizing are all of this fake right establishment people on social media, because that's where they're coming, man. They're getting sucked into all of their rhetoric, and that's that pressure release valve, and we're getting nowhere fast.
Yeah, they're kettling is what they're doing. If you're not familiar with the term, look it up. Right, when the police have to quell a protest, they kettle. And have you noticed? No big protests. Why? Because these shills are saying it's all going to be okay. Don't go out and protest. Right, go out there and protest other things, but don't protest this government. Don't hold your leader, your feckless leaders 3 in a row, 4 election losses, and everyone's like, we'll get them next. Are you kidding me? It's like the we're dealing with Toronto Maple Leafs fans. That's how I feel. Right, we're gonna get the cup this time. It's gonna be all great. It's like, are you though? Look at the evidence. Look at the track record. And again, I'm not like this. This isn't personal for me as far as, well, not tonight. But again, if you're still thinking that the blue team beating the red team is the salvation, you are out of your realm, and I feel bad for you and your family and your friends. Unless you want 15-minute cities, unless you want Agenda 2030, unless you want these oligarchs to control, or whatever you want to call them, right? I'm so done with them. That's why, again, I'm done with the shit posting. I am done with the attacking them, right? If you're asleep, I spent 6 years trying to wake people up. There's enough people that are awake that need people to support them, to be there for them, to encourage them to get to tomorrow. But if you're blind, insecure, lost, if you think that these people are going to save you, you are wrong. Period. Does that mean hang your head? Does that mean jump off a cliff? No, it doesn't. I still make cheesecakes. I am still out there. I'm having fun at the same time. Yeah, I'm going to balance my time with X, but I'm also on the battlefield. I'm trying to help correct or stop some things that are happening in British Columbia. Is it a guarantee it's going to happen? Absolutely not. But I'm not going to sit in this doom scrolling mentality of everything will be fine. And moving forward, you guys all know who I'm talking about, right? There's these people, honestly, it breaks my heart that so many people still believe in these people. And in the end, are they going to be held accountable? No. But they don't care about you. They are a part of the establishment. They're there to gaslight you. They are there to distract you. All I ask is, if you're wrong, be prepared. But it's disgusting. It won't matter whether it's Polyev, who the next guy is. It's the HQs of these establishments that are the problem. Does anybody know any of their names? Last election, they redistrict Polyev and Carleton. What did Jenny Byrne do? Many of you probably don't know who Jenny Byrne is, right? Nothing, right? They all stayed silent. I live in BC, if Remy's watching. I don't know who won that last election. I don't know. But I do know good people. Every province has good people. We have to figure out a way to come together and at the same time have some fun. That's all I'm saying. Yours, Peyman.
Who are we up against? Kilburn. COVID showed who would and would not stand up against the machine. Yes. London Falling. I guess it's a movie reference. 1776, 250 anniversary edition coming up. Yeah, but it goes back to what I said. I would love it if Thomas Jefferson was reincarnated and we embraced his vision, but that's not going to happen until we change the people. JP?
Yeah, and they're preventing it. What are we utilizing to try to get our message out? Social media. Social media in Canada is essentially a sophisticated algorithmic propaganda tool. If anything, it's keeping us in these cycles of left versus right. It's coordinating all of that division. Anyone who's really trying to look past that, to detect nuance and to look for pragmatic resolutions are just absolutely buried in these algorithms. And it's a massive problem. I don't want to be such a black pill, man, but I'm not seeing it. If anything, I'm seeing people become more divided. And again, the reason they're burying us is because they know that we pose a risk. Not just us. Think what blows my mind is when I think of probably the thousands of Canadians that are endeavoring to do the same. We probably don't even know half them because the algorithms won't let us find each other. Like I guarantee you, if you're not, then yeah, potentially. It's really becoming a little demoralizing for sure. You know what you're up against, this massive control grid that's already in place and a bunch of zombies. Don't see people with their elbows up drooling on themselves and think they're just dumb Canadians. You're looking at a programmable army and they're awaiting further instructions.
I'm just going to skip ahead. Yeah. Kilburn also says Kris spitting truth. Go ahead, Kris.
Try. But it's true. It's one of those things where, but again, you have to get to that part, that point where you accept, like, we're not saying believe us, follow us, hold us up on a pedestal. We're the same way we're not saying hold the establishment up on the pedestal. What we're trying to do is show you that in your world, right, things matter. You can make a difference. You can do things to improve the quality of life, regardless of how much they throw at you. Because if you don't have it here, you're good to no one. Right. And the problem we have is that we do have the establishment that makes themselves out. I don't believe, again, the polling, the who was it that expose on Nanos and all these polling agencies that are all totally co-opted to create a narrative to make us feel small, right? We're the fringe. No, we're not. I'll never believe that. Left and right, I think we agree more. If provided the information, you have the media on one side, you got the shills on the other side, you know, telling us that we're small, that we just need to go along to get along. You're going to split the vote. Peyman, your 22-second clip this week, fantastic. Right? It's, again, all these people that just say fall in line. That's how we got here since the inception of our country. Falling in line, believing in saviors that are not real, false prophets. Right? We have to be real. Again, we were not founded on revolution. I am not suggesting one, but we are a very young country that is going through growing pains. And if we don't figure out a way to come together and at least put some differences aside and focus on core principles, then we're going to get exactly what we deserve. And that's what they want to tell us. Right? I think the red and the blue cult, they're nowhere near as big as they want us to think. Right? How many people don't vote in this country? Right? All this establishment they are the mirage. They've got the multiple, you've got CBC, Global News, you got all the media, right, offline. And you got all these conservative freaking cucks online saying it's all going to be okay. It's not. Right? So you have to, once you accept reality and don't freak out, then you can start to live again and figure out what is within your power, what is in front of me that I can control on a day-to-day basis. How do I be there for my neighbors? How do I be there for friends? Guys, remember, we're 6 years into this. Some would say 11, but since the COVID event, there's a kinship there. Don't forget that, right? We see it, and we cannot spend any more time trying to wake these people up, whether they are scared, whether they're complete retards. Like the third time I've used that word on this platform in 6 years. But you must be a retard at this point if you are literally looking to the establishment to save you when they sold us out during COVID. How do you say that? Oh, that's the savior. And no accountability. But wars. We've been through enough wars. We haven't had enough parties.
JP, so you know what song to sing?
What is it?
War. What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing. And I'll say it again.
All right. Let's go to the next question.
We have to figure out a way to party this summer, though, guys.
Gary, thank you for reposting the stream. Alice Not Woke. No, it means picking up pitchforks. We are past civility. Real quick, I was born in Iran, and I remember there was a story of a father was not happy with what the teacher had done. The father was a boxer, and he went to school, and he knocked out the teacher. Fast forward to today, they can molest your children in school, and if you try to resist that in the U.S., they will label you as a domestic terrorist. So, yes, we are past civility, but I don't see people picking up pitchforks.
Well, people firstly have to become informed. And I always said, and potentially it was naive, but I used my metaphor of watching the Canadian electorate waking up slowly is like watching a cup or a vessel slowly fill with rainwater. And eventually it would reach a tipping point and we would see change. And I still believe that. But what I underestimated was the efficacy of their control. These algorithms, like we had our YouTube channel just kicked off of YouTube. We have experienced just immense suppression. We've been through it. And I mean, it's like, again, it's not just us, it's anyone who's deviating from their orthodoxy. They can't get their voices out. So, I mean, people aren't going to pick up pitchforks because they don't know they need to. They fall like the people that are paying attention to the extent that they're coming on social media looking for truth or looking for impartiality or analysis. They're finding the pleb or Mario, some culture war, rage baiting bullshit, right? And that's what we're seeing. So, I mean, I think we could see Canadians actually form a resistance of some kind if they could get the information.
I think it's like it's tough because I think in many ways that's what they want. They want pitchforks and torches. That gives them what they want. They have control over all the megaphones. They have the shills on the other side to say, oh, we're not a part of that. Right? So what do we do? Right. What we do is organize, right? Professionally. You know, again, is there like, do I have the answers? No, I don't. But as far as that goes, right? Standing there in suits and your best clothes when you're protesting, because again, you know what they're going to say. They're going to send their guys out with a Nazi flag or a Confederate flag to say, oh, look at the bad guys. They all believe A, B, and C. They're labeling. But again, it's like if we can't organize publicly against the government because the government has put us in a situation where they will destroy us, then there's no reason yet. Again, that's debatable, but I will never encourage violence. What I will always encourage is getting together locally, right? Regionally. You're not alone, right? They want us sitting in our rooms, doom scrolling constantly, right? And if you have empathy and you have a heart, that shit gets heavy, very heavy, right? And oh, there's always made good old liberals, right? If it's too dark for you, just leave the planet. I say hell no. No matter how dark it is, we got to try and shine some light. Be there for people. Like I said, I'm a bit redundant with my comments here. I'll end it here, but we're heading into the storm. We know it. So it's time to up our game. Get off social media for a week or two if you need to recharge your batteries. You know, reconnect. Make sure you're spending time with your family, taking care of your kids, that you're present with your family. And those in your family that see you and say, oh, it's input. Again, like I put my middle finger up like 3 times. It's not your job to save them. It's not your job. It's none of our jobs to wake people up. You've been doing this for 6 years. Focus on those that are awake and coming together. So I'll land it there. Go ahead, Peyman.
This is hilarious. Clown World says, I have a pitchfork in my garage. Alice Not Woke says, I only have a shovel. Will that work? And Clown World's like, well, have the shovel identify as a pitchfork. Are you gentlemen old enough to remember the expression to call a spade a spade? Nowadays, that constitutes hate crime.
It does. Yeah, a spade, another word for a shovel. Yeah.
I guess we can go on. That doesn't really warrant. I thought it was funny, but let's see what the remanded has to say. Elections Canada states hundreds of Canadians living abroad illegally or improperly registered to vote in the election, but won't say whether they voted in that. They will make sure it's corrected by next election. It's unacceptable and for whatever reason tolerated. Yeah, that's been the message we've been saying the entire episode. People aren't taking this seriously. The parties aren't taking it seriously, Chippy.
I think it's just so systemically corrupted. And I just think the elections, I think our entire political system is kayfabe. I think it's as real or as consequential as who won the WrestleMania this year. I just don't think it's real. And I don't mean to be so cynical about it, but I mean, for me, it just seems obvious. I don't think we're going to get there by even if we had perfect election integrity and we don't have a choice to vote for, I mean, that's the problem. Like the entirety of the electorate. Like, I would have loved to have seen Pierre Poilievre get in, and then he would have been pushing the exact same shit that Carney's pushing. Like, it's the same agenda with different faces. And until Canadians are willing to really embrace that disconcerting reality, again, I just don't feel like we're going to get anywhere.
That's the hard part with it, right? It's like, if in theory, right, election integrity should be at the forefront. Did we see people in BC stand up? No. Do we see this crap? Do we see the influencers? Do we see the party saying, hey? No, we don't. Right? You even had Corey Teneke, okay, I name dropped, but whatever. He was on CBC, so went national, right? Saying, oh, all the elections are rigged when it comes to leadership races. Right. I have received, like, I have no information right now for me to have any faith that our elections are not manipulated. We see that Jean-Paul Katsuya, every week I put a weekly reminder out saying that he's like, we have evidence we can prove that all prime ministers from Brian Mulroney to Justin Trudeau have been compromised by the CPC. That's one foreign influence column. Right, I'd say it goes back, because if you see the Constitution Act in 1982, I think these buggers, caught myself, these buggers have been at this, slowly dismantling things to be able to make their move for decades upon decades, the slow game, right? So what are we supposed to have faith in? And again, I didn't want to come on tonight and to be like, oh, it's all, I know these things, I ask these questions, but every morning I wake up and I'm grateful that my computer turned on again, that I'm here and I want to make a difference, and I won't bow to these people ever. It's just who I am. So go ahead, Peyman.
I'm just going to quickly go through some of these. We've got a lot of comments. Gary, Australia is running out of petrol and food, but they have 9 million new immigrants. Bad planning. Yeah, you tell me. Alice Not Woke. Pierre Poilievre has been making lots of money along the way. Bless his heart. He works so hard, 3 hours a day. JT, we don't need all 343. They need us. We shut down the economy and only barter for 2 weeks. We got them by the you-know-whats. Yeah, I mean, in theory, but I just find people are slaves nowadays. They're addicted to Netflix. JP, any comments? You're muted, bro.
I was on a roll of not doing that for a long time. We speak to it frequently, the apathy and the complacency of our electorate. And I just mean, like, the level of control that is held over us. Like, so few Canadians know what's going on, and we forget that here in these algorithms, because you're in an echo chamber, and the people that are seeing your content, they kind of are more awake. But if you went to the mall, or, you know what I mean, some random public locale, and started just quizzing people passing by, you would go home and you would be demoralized, because you would realize, like, they don't understand anything. Most Canadians don't even understand how our system works, how our Westminster parliamentary system functions. We don't know how the monetary system functions. Like, we're economically and politically illiterate, and that's by design. Why didn't our public school educations teach us these things? Because, again, it's just we're in a resource/labor colony. That shit is mine too. Fuck Professor Yang.
Right. That's why I say, man, grab your guitar. Let's go to every mall. Let's do a cross-country tour, and we'll just do that. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us, right? Just let it freaking rip in every mall. Will it make a difference? I don't know, but it'd be fun, I think, in some ways. It's one of those things. Like, I know I probably sucked a lot of airtime tonight. I got a lot to say, so I apologize. But at the same time, it's like I feel it on X. I feel it on social media. People are down. They're demoralized. They don't know where to turn, and they know what's real and what is not real. And so I look at it as two cults. We got 20% red, 20% blue, and then there's 60% of us in the middle that have no control over everything, because they've got it so locked down and convincing us that we can't make a difference, that we don't have value. You know, is what I'm doing now gonna solve the world's problems? No, I know that, but I'm off social media, right? I'm doing my best to try and at least, you know, make some kind of a difference outside of this matrix into another matrix, right? So I hear you guys, and the people watching, don't give up. You have to find it. the more wars you were in. Remember where you were at in 2021, 2022, 2023. Remember the strength you drew on. It's still there. But that weight, you've got to figure out a way to process through that. So I'll leave it there. Go ahead, Peyman.
Clown World, too many people don't see, or in my view, don't want to admit that this is happening in all white nations. It's been so clear. We pointed this out. JP says this all the time. He uses a different phrase. He says the Commonwealth. We have to be a little bit diplomatic. We will, we're going to be the first ones to be sodomized by Bill C9. But I think we're all in agreement. JP.
Yeah, I mean, this is balkanization. Like the whole myth of multiculturalism. It was always a misnomer. We could have had a multiracial society where we have one culture. It would have to still be uniculture. I mean, that's incongruous. You can't have people that come from very different cultures come into a country and then tell them that they can hold on to their culture. It's like, no, you have to assimilate to a Canadian culture. And we're cool, man, but like we were a little too cool. And again, we were programmed by the CBC for these states of mind, these big narratives that are just programmed into Canadians. It's just like the nice thing. It's like, is it really nice, or are we just weak and ineffectual? Like, really though, like, I mean, what are we doing here? Like I said, man, we're watching our country being sold out from underneath us, and we're not doing anything. We're still pushing the bullshit that the establishment is pushing on us. Like, I don't know, man. Again, I'm not even getting demoralized as frustrated. I want to collectively shake Canadians. It's just like, and again, every day someone will come on and they'll just say the most low resolution shit that I've ever heard in my life. And I'm just like, man, we're doomed. It's like no one's getting it yet, and they're not allowed to get it. Anyone who's calling it out cold, they're being suppressed. So, I mean, it's a bit of a black pill, but that's where we are. We have to acknowledge a hard reality if we want to pragmatically resolve it.
And I fully agree. I have found over the years that some of the best counter to black pills is music. So when you said you want to shake people, I just started thinking Thunderstruck, AC/DC. Again, Gen X, go back and take a look at some of the songs. Not necessarily all the ones that were like, oh, got to get yourself vaccinated, Offspring can screw themselves. But again, it's like one of those things where you have to figure out a way to build into your daily routine, a way to check yourself. Where am I at? It has to happen. Again, I thought, I have built new armor. I'm building my 9th set, so I'm kind of like Iron Man. I'm looking at what armor do I need, and each set of armor that I've had to upgrade shows growth, personal growth. So if you haven't done that, you should reflect and know different environments require different kinds of armor, different kinds of emotional capacity, a prevention against being vulnerable, right? There are certain things you can do that you have to do individually. And once you figure that out, then you can also help others to find that for themselves. You can't tell what people to do, but we are in, again, JP, the black pill. You need to be real. Is it a black pill? No, it's being real. We have to be real. We have to be men. We have to be women. We have to find a way to figure out how do we navigate this kinship across the largest landmass with the smallest population in the world. So we're up against it, different than other countries. But I am never going to hang my head, take a knee to these people. But I also have to recalibrate what I'm going to do moving forward as far as where I spend my time. And I look forward to sharing that with the world. So go ahead, Peyman.
Something is wrong with our StreamYard application. Every once in a while, I go back up to the top, and there's some comments. There's a flurry of comments from our loyal viewers, Miss Sue Kellen Dyer. I'm just going to read them all, and then we'll respond. Sue says, you need to add an AI co-host. Okay, we're going to skip that. We can call the AI co-host the liberals backbencher. Okay, now I approve of that. Sue, what prevents us from coming together? We do. I agree. Repost all. Thank you very much, Sue. If everybody could repost, we appreciate that. 40 to 50%.
Online, we do.
Online. 40 to 50% online. I don't know. Is that income tax or people that follow us? Sue, when heroes are hockey players and politicians are saviors, the citizens are lazy. Well put. Bad policy begets worse policy, which begets denial of failure, which begets corruption, it's kind of long for a bumper sticker, but I see where you're going. The Carney control complex is on steroids. What they understand is other people do things they don't want to. Apathy means free time for them. Finally, first time watching via my phone. Comments. Okay, thanks, Sue. No, I don't know. I'll just pick up on, I guess, one of them. I mean, it's the apathy amongst the voters that's causing us to come to this point. JP?
Yeah, it's all of the above, really. We're in a bad way, and instead of acknowledging that, we're getting divided. We're looking at each other. And I'm not saying this in some kind of bullshit hippie way, man. Like, but there's important things right now that should unify us. We should have solidarity with each other in spite of our differences. And number one is the integrity of our institutions. I say that frequently because it's accurate. If the people we're voting for are not representing the constituency, then what are we doing here, right? So I mean, it's just like there's all these diversionary things that attract people, almost like a moth to a flame, and it's preventing people from seeing the answers because there's these big bright psyops like Pierre Poilievre. That dude was preemptively propped up to regurgitate all this bullshit, fake populism, slopulism, I call it. And he's literally perpetuating the same stupid myths about Canadians. Oh, we're all just really nice and happy up here. It's like, dude, where the fuck have you been, Pierre Poilievre? Like we're all living in harmony in this harmonious thing in Canada. It's like, I don't know, man. I see balkanization. I see people. I've never seen people more divided, and there's no easy answer for it. It's a dark time.
It is sad when you're like, because I could not stomach to watch the whole Joe Rogan interview, but I saw a couple clips and you know, the whole thing about they're all getting along. It's like, we're in the land of unicorns and farts that smell great. 10, 11 years into this is the guy that's going to bring us out of it. There's one thing to inspire. There's another thing to gaslight and lie when you are facing whatever you want to call it, right? We need somebody with a backbone. Again, it's like one of those things too, like the PPC. I've never been a PPC member, right? But I think that there's been some balls dropped there. I think that they've done good work. Again, I would still shake Max's hand and thank him for the work he did during COVID, but we really don't have anything on a federal level that's actually calling these people to task. And so once we realize that, okay. But again, it's like, if you're this far into this and you haven't realized what matters as far as if you are still living in the pre-COVID era where shiny things matter, you're going to have a rude awakening. But there's a ton of people. Sue, I will say this. I didn't see one of your comments. I got the comments open here on my screen. Not one of them was coming through. So I don't know what's happening there, but thank you. Brilliant lady. You should follow her. Two Chicks in Politics. Absolutely. Alice, not sure if you're the Alice, but we should talk if you are. But again, guys, it's like if we can bring a little bit of light to this BS. It's like I want to use that reference from the movie Predator when the guy kind of loses it. He's like, I'm going to have me some fun. I just hope I don't end up with 3 dots on my forehead. But I want to have fun with this because there's no other choice. We're in it. People are hurting, and we have to be able to be real with what's happening. But at the same time, if we can bring some sense of joy, encourage people to get to tomorrow, that's my focus from now until 2030. And then I'll reevaluate once people hopefully see what's coming when it's on their doorstep. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I know we're going late tonight, but yeah, I'll have some final thoughts. If we're going to keep going because I love the audience. Thank you guys so much. And please share the space if you can, the stream.
We got some really kind words from Sundown 95. Thank goodness for the 3 of you. The only sanity on here. God bless. Thank you. You guys want any comments, Chippy?
Thank you very much. There's the reason I do this is number one, it's I definitely like the audience that we have. We have a loyal but small but very loyal fan base. But I mean, it's cathartic for me too. I asked myself some questions recently, like I actually considered, should I walk away? Because I dedicate far too much time to this to be invisible. I'm writing articles, I'm writing long posts, and no one's seeing them. But at the end of the day, I have to be honest with myself. Like, I derive a lot of pleasure from doing this. The process is the reward for me, so I shall continue.
This is like therapy for me, guys, when it's been so bad to be not bad, because again, you guys understand what I'm doing, and I'm working 10, 12-hour days, Wi-Fi, rain, construction yesterday. Like, again, the universe is trying to try and tear us down in some ways, but I think that there's something to be said as far as that we have to keep going, tightening things up, and not overextending ourselves when we have other commitments as well too. So yeah, man, the same thing I say to the audience. We can't give up. I think that we can have a lot more fun with this, and stay measured with what our expectations are, and just be there. Consistency, and mocking the crap out of this stuff they want us to believe is reality. Let's not do it, and let's keep moving. Go ahead, Peyman.
Let's blast through some of this. We're almost at the end. JT says that political parties need expiration dates. Alice not woke. I hate all the political parties. Amen, ma'am. Now, here's one from Debbie. So, are we doomed to expect Carney's New World Order? It's not that we're trying to be negative here and saying it's over, like everyone go kill yourselves. It's just we've neglected this for so long. This is like a tooth that we haven't brushed or flossed in so long. It's completely decayed. It's going to take a lot to fix. That's all I'm trying to say, JP.
So number one, I think it's important to differentiate. This isn't Carney's New World Order. Carney's a representative for the banking oligarchies that run the Western democracies. We could speculate, and is it the Vatican, the Jesuits, is it the Zionists, whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. How they control us is through the monetary system. It's through the usury-based monetary system. We don't have sound currency. This is far bigger than Carney, and there's going to be resolution because it cannot continue as the way it's going. So, I mean, I don't know that we're doomed. I wouldn't characterize it that way, but we will see dramatic change in the coming years.
I don't even like using the term doom. Are we doomed? Because the life is in here, right? I believe that, right? Like I said, I'm almost 50, so it's like I'm well past halfway, right? I look back at the work I've done. Okay, what am I going to do tomorrow? Which is what matters, right? The human experiences that I've been able to have, even over the last week. I've talked to some people that I haven't talked to in a very long time. Human experiences, kinship, right? And I think that, so to ever take it as an all-encompassing, I think if each individual that is listening takes the time, right, to be real, to let go of what you can't bring with you, right? Whether it's emotional, whether it's material, let it go. Be real with what's in front of you. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your kids, right? But also understand, if you're a man in Canada still, be a man, right? Keep your shit together. Don't lose it, right? And reach out to your other manly friends. I'm not trying to be misogynistic. If you got a female that is there, that's a sounding board, do that. But Canadians that are still here that are men have to be men, and keep your shit together for the rest of for your family, friends, and those that count on you. There's strength there, but you can't keep carrying the weight. If you keep adding backpacks up the mountain, you're never going to make it to the top, and everyone's top of the mountain is different. So take a step back, honestly, touch grass, touch sand, right? Be vulnerable with other men. If you're not doing well, share it. So I could go on. Social work Kris showed up today, so go ahead, Peyman.
We got another good comment from Alice. I hate everybody except you guys. I like that doubly. The fact that you hate people and the fact that you like us. Thank you. We got a good one from JT. Agreed, JP. You do not have free speech when you have hate speech laws. And if you don't have free speech, you are not free. Why don't you take that, JP?
It's funny. The Anti-Defamation League back in the day, when like talk shows were still kind of new on cable television, you would see like these white supremacist Nazis going on like Jerry Springer or Maury Povich or something like this, and they would have an ADL person with them to ensure that their speech was protected. We would protect free speech, not for speech we agree with. We protect free speech for speech that is controversial. And I am, as a tax-paying, and I will put an emphasis on this part, law-abiding citizen, I should be able to hold whatever view I have. And if I don't prefer a certain ideology or a certain group, I should be allowed to have that. I know that's not popular to say. I personally detest hate. I don't do any biological determinism. I don't view people as their genetics has anything to do with them. I'm a content of character dude. It's part of Catholicism. We're actually not allowed, Catholics, to be biological determinists. And that's what it means. You could take, like, let's strip down all the words: racism, anti-Semitism, all of these various words. It really is. It just comes back to biological determinism. I personally, I don't have any of those views, but I mean, if we have free speech, we have to protect the controversial opinions. We have to allow for it. It's unfortunate, but I'd rather this shit be out in the open than in back channels and stuff. I mean, there's benefits to having free speech.
Kris.
Absolutely. And I honestly, like, I find it hard to hate anybody. You know, like, there are people I will help and there's people I won't. Is that hate? No, I think that's, content of character based. I agree with you, JP. I'll finish on this. I am very confident that none of us are the father. Bring up Maury and Jerry Springer. But I think it's one of those.
You guys ever seen that Maury, the black guy's like, "You are not the father." He starts jumping around and thinking the woman's having a nervous breakdown.
Oh, the 90s, eh? Yeah.
Good old times. Okay, we got almost at the end. We got a serious one from Amanda, and then there's some positive notes. Oh Lord, they reference in the committee in 2,200 incidents, and the one witness mentions a woman was assaulted, but doesn't include whether or not the qualifier for hate speech was even part of the assault. What if these are due to the increase of immigration, mental disorder, random criminal act? Where's the detail in the committee discussion? I'm not sure about the context here, but generally speaking, yeah, it's the due process is sort of falling apart. The rule of law is failing. Does anyone know what he's referring to?
I don't know the specific incident he's referring to, but the whole thing about this hate speech, like, you're trying to figure out motive on this, and that's very subjective. Like, and it's just going to be a mess. We have to have laws in place, obviously, but they can't be interpreted through these qualifiers such as hate, because that's just impossible to determine. It really is. And people say, "Oh, we know what hate is." That's the lazy argument. What do you mean you know what hate is? Okay, we'll define it, because I know that hate is its subjective emotional determinant. And I mean, hate is different for different people. Like, it's like there's not some objective, this is what hate is, and we have to make this illegal. It's all just so immensely flawed. It's like, has anyone not read like 1984 or like Brave New World by Huxley? Like, we're entering this. We're coming into a dystopia, a government-controlled technocratic dystopia control grid. That's where we're at.
I agree. Like, I think the context is in relation to support for Bill C9 as to why we need these laws. I'm not sure. But again, they can manufacture, like, again, these polling agencies and stuff. In the end, I think what would serve our country right is that it doesn't matter what color armband you're wearing. Be an adult. Don't bring your emotions into it. Don't let the lobbyist groups influence you. Remember that whether you're governing as a red, blue, orange, whatever, that you represent the people of the entirety of the population, not just your little cults and your cliques. I think that we've gone so far past what is objective governing that we are in a very difficult spot. And now when I see like this comment, I'm like, yeah, right. We don't know. Great question. As far as the variables that should be taken into consideration, do I think the committee will actually look at those? No. Right. They have an agenda and they want to be able to sell it to the public, and they're very good salespeople. So I'll leave it there.
So I'll just say that Ramanda just DM'd me. It is about Bill C9. You're right, Kris. Awake in Alberta. Glad I caught you guys tonight. Needed to pick me up. Keep on keeping on. That's the only choice. Very glad that you enjoyed the episode. Thank you very much for watching. Sue says, echoes something Kris always says, walk to the ocean, breathe the salt and roll with the waves, use nature's power to move forward. She's from Newfoundland. Breathing the salt is your version of touching grass. Some regional differences. There's one I saw here. Everything keeps moving. Where the hell did it go? Okay, here we go. Clown World. Big wins in France yesterday with Le Pen winning some districts. Same thing happening in Germany. Some good news, JP.
Well, this is what's so frustrating about Canada is we're seeing actual resistance in parts of Europe. We're seeing like populist parties garnering relevance with the electorate, but in Canada we have none of that. We have the CPC still commanding the majority of people, like for opposition. But yeah, it's the thing is, man, is we're going to go on. It's going to be different. We're going to have some big changes. We definitely have to keep pushing. That's the best I can say. I mean, we'll take a win where we can get it. I'll leave it there.
Every win matters, whether it's personal or provincial or federal, right? If you start to focus on personal, just setting goals and achieving those goals within each day, one of them has to be making sure you do a balance check on yourself, look in the mirror and have that discussion with yourselves. But at the same time, I'm done with like criticizing the federal side of things. So I'm working more on a provincial level. We see things. What they want is for you to stay at home. They want you to run. They want you to leave. Right? They don't want just the simple fact of saying, no, you're not getting inside of my head. I'm not going to be demoralized is huge through this. To be able to understand what's going on in here and challenge it, negative self-thought, get in there and say, yes, be real. At the same time, find it. Find that inner fire to have that tenacious response of, no, you're not getting inside my head. I'm going to get up every day. I'm going to meet my responsibilities. I'm going to have fun. I'm still going to fight. There's no running in that, but you can have fun with it if you retrain yourself. Most of us, again, I'm almost 50. So I spent most of the stuff when people say things to me, I have these like references from 80s sitcoms or songs that I heard. It's like, oh, that makes me so programming. Reprogram yourself to be positive. Smile in the face of black pills, smile in the face of whatever they bring, right? Doesn't mean that you are detached. There's a certain kind of laughing, right? There's two kinds, and I'll finish here. You've lost it and you're just laughing. The other side of it is, I see you, but I'm still going to take care of my family, my kids, those around me. You got nothing on me. And go out. Life is short, people. Don't spend all your time worrying about the games they're trying to get inside your head with. So I'll leave it there. Thanks.
It just occurred to me we have more comments than we could possibly get through because every time I get to the bottom, they refresh. So I'm just going to blast through. I'm going to go with the new ones. Andre, thank you for reposting the stream. Scylla, hello. Pierre looks like a Cabbage Patch. Oh, sure. What is Andre asking? My backup plan actually is a propane gas generator. That's true. Quickly, guys, while I go through any comments. JP, Kris?
Yeah, I mean, you got to have something. It's especially a generator, propane generator, and lots of propane on hand. It's the energy problems and crisis that we're going to see as a result of this Iranian conflict are going to be immense. I see them as the catalyst to some hard times.
Kris?
Yeah, I agree. I think that, like we could have talked, we said current events tonight, but I think the most current event is we're here. What do we do with it? We get to talk about the Strait of Hormuz and all the rest of the games that are being played. Doesn't change that fact. Be prepared. We see what's happening in Australia, other places around the world. But I think that's one of the things JP said earlier, as far as the catalyst. That might be it. So Andre, yes, right. Get your magnifying glasses to be able to create fire, learn how to rub sticks and rocks. I'm not kidding, actually. Like, have a backup plan. You got your propane, excellent. But at the same time, don't run. Don't run from yourself. I think that's the most important message I can say. Don't run from yourself or your family.
So Andre actually put a question, a more serious question for you gentlemen. If a federal election were called, I would like to run as an independent candidate. Do you believe it's possible to shift the current political landscape by uniting independent candidates across the country? I guess I'll answer first. Anything is possible, Andre, but you and I, we've done multiple initiatives together. It's like herding cats. And even if you united all the candidates, I would recommend your number one priority should be changing, or rather deprogramming the electorate. Whatever damage the CBC has done, you should be singularly focused on reversing that damage, JP.
Yeah, 100% put a lot of emphasis on education, re-education in this sense. Like, we got to deprogram people. So Peter McIsaac, who was on with us, he had done something in Nova Scotia where they had a bunch of independents on the same page, and the premise was a contractual obligation to the constituency, where the constituency would have the power for these independent people to pull them right out of office if they're not following their campaign promises and what we elected them to do. So this is just creating a vector for accountability, which I think, honestly, if we're going to have a political solution moving forward, it's going to be something like that. The people have to find a way to keep our representatives accountable, and accountability is lacking in this system presently. So it all comes back to what Peyman said. It's educating people, and that's what we endeavor to do with this show. So if I could get everyone to share it, it's very advantageous.
And I agree. I think it's similar with independence. The way I kind of viewed it, the NDP libertarians is don't ever think you don't belong on that stage when it comes to debates. Don't ever think you don't belong in that system. Honestly, the fact is that if you feel that, it's a thing, right? But you got to show up, get on the debate stages, use the machine that they use to perpetuate their status quo and get there, right? Do I think that there's a future for independence? I do. I'm working for one, right? Jordan Keeley is an amazing guy. He's so focused on his constituency. He is able to walk into rooms and talk to everybody because he's not bound by a party whip, right? All these establishment people, so again, you don't know. It's very hard, yes, to win as an independent in this country. But at the same time, has there ever really been a concerted effort to mobilize an independent movement? That is a very important question. No. Peter McIsaac, hats off. Great man. I wish I was there for the episode. Canada is fried chicken. I'm sorry. Which, though, Popeyes is pretty tasty. You can eat that, right? It's pretty good. I'll probably catch heat for that comment, but whatever. I'll land it there. I think for Andre, temper your expectations on when you win. You go in there to educate and be true. Speak to everyone. That would be my advice. Focus on the constituency at a local level and get in there and speak your mind and make them uncomfortable on stage without swearing. Go ahead, Peyman.
We finally made it to the end. Just some notable mentions. Andre Meloche says, my immediate neighbors were ready to call the police during the health crisis because we opposed the freedom restricting measures. Do you really think I can trust them? I don't. I wouldn't recommend you trust them. JP, quick.
No, I don't think we can trust anyone right now, because you're not dealing with people that are thinking and interpreting things independently or rationally. We have group hysteria and mass formation occurring, and we're all being herded in these different camps and played off against one another. I think it's like I said earlier, it's a perfect line. Don't merely see low IQ Canadians with their elbows up, drooling on themselves. See them for what they are. This is a malleable or programmable army awaiting further instruction. So I definitely would be hesitant to trust anyone in this present climate.
Kris, real quick.
Yeah, I agree. I'll land it there. Be very, very careful with who you trust. I think that even those that you through this, like, there's a lot of posers in this as well. The list of people on, it's very small as far as whether or not I trust you to get into the trenches with me. At the same time, you cannot isolate yourself. So do your diligence, trust your intuition. Don't always look for the good, look for truth in people, and look at what they've done as far as how they've stepped up and what risks they have taken over the last 6 years specifically. Go ahead, Peyman.
I'm just going to end it on this Hilarious. Alice says, you guys are making me depressed. And she goes, now I'm going to have to drink some wine. Clown World says we're drinking influencers. Andre's comment, I can't imagine what you would consume if you listened to Mark's Carney.
Well, you'd be consuming shit, quite literally from the source. That's good though. So with that said,
episode,
guys,
gentlemen.
yeah, we're close to 1,000 live viewers, so that's definitely a record for as of recently. But I do want to ask everyone once again. We derive most of our views after the live broadcast, so it's still very helpful if you could still share it. And we're back Thursday with Vincent Gerses. What time is that, Peyman?
It's 4 o'clock, if I'm not. Yes, 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 Eastern.
So 7 p.m. Eastern this Thursday with Vincent Gerses, and we'll be talking about corruption in Canada. So very, very similar theme, but it should be a good episode. So with that said, I'll let you gentlemen say goodbye. Kris, you want to any final words?
I've already said it. Don't give up, guys. You have value and you matter. Every day is a new day. Be grateful that you have it, and don't spend all your days in the darkness. So spread light where you can. Thanks for showing up tonight, and I look forward to Thursday. Go ahead,
Peyman.
Regarding how to save the country, just keep doing what you're doing. We have to educate and wake up the public. I just want to say I made the decision to cancel my blue check mark. I just don't believe I should be paying a social media platform that's suppressing me. So you're going to stop seeing me posting these things on X. I'm just going to post it on YouTube, Rumble, Substack.
Awesome. So with that, guys, we will see you guys Thursday. Thanks for coming out. Cheers.
Am I ending the stream, or you're the admin now? You want to flex your muscle?
I'm ending it, bro.
Flex, Jay.